Okay.
Okay, so we completed the cucumber, and actually like one of the topic that we skipped from the TestNG, like executing the test cases parallelly, like parallel test execution. Let's complete that first before going on to the like next topics. Okay, so let me open a TestNG folder that we have. Okay, and like we have all our TestNG examples. So what I'll do is like I'll try to create a small test, and basically I want to parameterize that test, and also like what I want to do is I want to execute that test parallelly. Okay, so before with the JUnit, what we were able to do, we were only able to execute one test at a time. In the sense, like only one, like if you have a test, first you can execute only on the Firefox. Then once that is done, then you need to execute on the Chrome. Then once that is done, you need to execute it on different browser, okay, Internet Explorer or some other browsers. So instead of that, like what we can do is we can execute them all in parallel. Okay, in the sense, like you can execute all our test cases that we have created at the same time on Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, or whatever the browser it is. Okay, so let's try to see how to create that. Like we'll create a class and also we'll try to execute them. Okay, so we are going back to TestNG now. Okay, so let me create a small test. Okay, and we'll have just simple only uh, like, okay, let me create it. So new, then other. Okay, and I'll select the TestNG class and click on next, and here I'll give some name to it, probably parallel test. Okay, and I want a before class and I want a after class. Okay, so two of the tests that I want, like before class and after class, and it will by default create a test method, and click on finish. Okay, so it created the test for us. Then I'll move it to our folder. Okay, so here it is. So parallel test.java. Okay, so now like I said, like we have a before class, after class, and also the @test. Okay, so here like now what I want to do is, all I want to do is just like launch a browser and navigate to that URL and do some task on the application. Okay, so this is the only task that I want to perform. Like same thing, like maybe we can use the Amazon itself. So in the before class, like what I'll do is I'll navigate to the, or first of all I'll launch the application. Okay, so how to do that, like see. So first thing is @before class, and we want to create like a WebDriver, whichever the WebDriver that we want to, and first of all like we need to know which browser that we want to open. So let's say see system dot set property. Okay, and actually we can copy just this part of code from our previous scripts. Before class, yeah, here it is. Okay, so just to launch the browser, like setting the system property and launching it. Okay, see system.set property, this, so it's asking, like giving error that what is this driver. So let's create a driver, like stating that WebDriver driver, like this. Okay, and it's asked us to download the or import the WebDriver, which I'll do it, and that. And this thread.sleep, it's throwing an error, so let's say add throws declaration and exception. Okay, see this will launch the browser, and this is the Chrome browser that we want to launch it. Okay, so now, so and in the after class all I want to do is driver dot close. I want to close that specific driver, so I don't want to do anything other than that. I want to close the browser, and then in this method, in the test, like let's say what I want to do is navigate to login, or maybe login to application, like login application. Okay, and even here also the method name we can change it. So instead of before class, we can have maybe like launch application. Okay, and instead of after class, we can just leave it like that also, or we can give our own name also, like let's say close application, just the method name. Okay, so launch, close, and login application. So in the login, we can have code to, let's say, click on something, like do some task in there. So maybe we'll copy that from here. Or just like give some just a text in there, or we can get that code. The property of it got changed, right? So let's copy the automation steps and Amazon automation steps. Okay, now link your account. I think this is also the old one. Yeah, see, this is the one. Okay, so I'll copy this line of code to click on that like list. Okay, C driver dot find element by account list, and then this. Then I want to wait for some time. Thread dot sleep. I'll say, let's say 3000 milliseconds. Okay, and it asks us to throw the declaration and interrupted exception. Yeah. Okay, and then let's say I want to enter the email password and submit button. Okay, like this. Okay, so just like we don't want to do any other tasks over here, all we want to do is this. Okay, in the login application. Okay, so now this. Okay, so our script is ready just to launch to the application, like launch a browser, then log into the application. So next step is, see, this is the TestNG. So we need to create a TestNG like XML file so that we can execute this specific code. Okay, so let's create an XML file for that. So I'll come here, select the folder, right click, new file, and give, let's say, parallel test.xml. Just some name to that file. So I'm giving it as ParallelTest.xml. Okay, so now we know what we need to provide in here. Okay, first thing is suite. So SUITE, then name equal to something like parallel test suite. Okay, parallel test suite in the suite. Okay, then we have the test. See, test name equal to, let's say, probably Chrome test. So this is the Chrome test, and end it. So we have the test here. Okay, so we have suite and we have test, and inside the test, like, we'll have classes. What are the classes that we want to execute? Classes, and then we have class. Okay, and name equal to, let's say, class name. So we need to get it from there, which is, so com dot test dot TestNG examples dot parallel test. Okay, parallel test, and end it. So end class. So everything, whatever that is there in that parallel test, I want to execute it like this. Okay, so we haven't done anything, just like plain XML file that we are creating for the test suite. So when we execute this, so it's going to go and open the browser and do whatever the task that we have specified. So let's do that. Okay, see, right click on that XML file, then say run as TestNG suite. So it's starting the Chrome. Click on the list, email password, and it'll close the browser. Yeah. Okay. And if you see the results of the TestNG, see, like launch application, like all whatever that is there, it has executed. There are one test methods. Okay. Because the other two methods are before class and after class. So that's why it was only showing our one test method. Okay. So it's working fine. So now, like in case if you want to execute with a different let's say browser, so what we'll do, we'll come here and change the webdriver.ie.driver, and then we'll create the IE driver. Okay, if it is a Firefox that you want to open, then we'll say webdriver.gecko.driver. Okay, and we'll create the Firefox driver. So let's try that. So for that, what we'll do, we have to comment this and we need to comment this. Okay, and then see, so instead of this, I'll say system.set.this, then webdriver.ie.driver. Okay, and then even this path with name of the jar file also will change because it's a IE driver. So let's go here and see. Yeah, this is the IE driver. So I'll copy the name of it and I'll paste it here. Okay, and then driver equal to new Internet Explorer driver, like this. Okay, so it will ask you to download. Okay, Internet Explorer driver. So if I run this, what will happen? See, let's run this and see. Now it will open in the Internet Explorer. See, run as TestNG suite. Okay, some error. So let's keep a wait in there. Internet Explorer, then let's say thread.sleep of 3000 milliseconds. Okay, just in case it might be waiting for something. So 3000 milliseconds. See, let's run this. Run as test suite. Again, it does the same thing. Okay, looks like some error in here. Might be webdriver.ie driver only. Then C drive selenium latest jars, IE driver.exe. Okay, somehow it's giving an error. Let's see the next one. The Gecko driver also for the Firefox. So let me copy these 2 lines of code. Okay, then webdriver.gecko Gecko driver, and let's get this. Yeah, Gecko driver .exe. Okay, so instead of Chrome driver, we need to say new Firefox driver, like this. Okay, and import Firefox driver. Okay, so now at least let's run this one and see if Firefox works or not. See, run as TestNG suite. Yeah, Firefox is launched. So it went to Amazon. Yeah, Firefox worked well. Okay, so this does not close the browser. That's a known issue in the latest Selenium, so it doesn't close the Firefox browser. Okay, see, like this. So now what happened, like we have created the code to open different browsers, but what we are able to do, we are able to only run one at a time. Okay, first we want to run like first one, then we commented it and executed on the Internet Explorer, then we commented that and we were able to run on the Firefox. Okay, but let's say in some situations we might want to execute everything parallelly. Okay, so now comes the parallel test execution. So for that, what we need to do is, see, in the suite we need to provide some more data. Okay, first thing is, for the suite name we need to add one more parameter called parallel equal to test. Okay, this is the first thing that we need to do, parallel equal to test. And for this we need to pass some parameters. Okay, so what that parameters is, see, so in the test Chrome, like here we need to pass some parameters. So what that parameter is, see, parameter name equal to, let's say, browser, okay, equal to browser type. Okay, so what are the parameter that we want to pass? The parameter type and value equal to Chrome, like this, and end it. Okay, see, parameter equal to, name of that parameter is browser type and the value is Chrome. Okay, and inside that you have your classes, like what are the class that you have, parallel test. And then see, this is one test. Okay, so from here to here this is one test. So now if you want to do the second test, same thing, let's copy this test. So now again same thing, we want to execute on a different browser. See, test name equal to, let's say I'll name it as Firefox test. Okay, so Chrome test and Firefox test. So here browser type is Firefox and all the other things are same. We don't need to make any modifications there. Okay, so that's for Firefox. In the same way, let's say IE. I'll just copy everything, paste it. Instead of Firefox test, I'll say IE test. And here I'll say, let's say IE or Internet Explorer or whatever it is, like this. Okay, so we are specifying the parallel equal to test. That's the first thing. Plus, for every type of the browser, we need to add one parameter and have 3 different tests for it. Okay, so now what we need to do is, see, from here we are passing a variable, like we are passing a parameter called browser type. Okay, like what it will do is, when we are executing it from this XML file, it is going to pass it to our test. Okay, so whichever the class, to this class it will be passed. So we need to catch that. So we already know how to do it. See, at the rate, all we need to do is we need to provide the annotation. So at the rate parameters, okay, let's try with this. See, of, open and close the bracket, and in quotes give browser type. Okay, so let's see if the name of that variable is same. Okay, uppercase T, which is browser type. Let's save this. So it's giving some error. Let's see what it is. So it says parameter is not a annotation. Let's give it as, see, org.test TestNG dot then annotations dot parameters, like this. Yeah. Okay, so now it will treat it as a parameter. So that parameter we can pass it to this method. So all we need to do is, see here also we need to pass it as string and give it as browser type. Okay, and this browser type we have to use it inside our method. Okay, so how to do is, if the browser type is Internet Explorer, launch this Internet Explorer. If it is a Chrome, execute this code, and if it is, let's say, Firefox, execute this code. So we need to write a logic here. Okay, so either we can use a if loop here, okay, as because we want to check if browser is something, then do something, if not, do something else, if not, like whatever it is. So what we can do is we can add a if loop here. Okay, but as there are multiple values that you want to verify, so instead of using a if loop, it's better to go with a switch case. Okay, because we know already like what are the differences between them, like if loop, switch case, and also like for loop and all those loops. So in this scenario we can use a if loop also, but to follow some standard and to make it as more powerful, like we have to use a switch case so that it doesn't waste the time and it will exit once it finds the match. So how to do that is, see, switch swith, okay, and I can press a control space. See, it will give me switch case statement, see, like this. Okay, switch case and this. So now what we need to do is, see, key. So key is based on what? So based on this browser type. Okay, so I'll say based on this browser type dot, okay, like now either we can directly say whatever it is. Okay, see, based on browser types. So case, so in case if the browser type is Firefox or Chrome, okay, so let's say, see, Chrome. Okay, so if it is Chrome, then we need to execute this line, 2 lines of code. See, if it is Chrome, I want to do this, like this, and break. Okay, else if it is Firefox, okay, if it is Firefox, then I want to execute the Firefox code. Okay, so I'll copy these 2 lines of code and paste it here. Okay, then break. Okay, because once I find a match, I don't want to continue the execution. I need to come out of the loop. In the same way, the next one, case IE. Okay, if it is Internet Explorer, then I want to execute this code like this. Okay, so let me keep everything lowercase like this, and then we need a break here also, like this. Okay, so we don't need this code anymore, so I'll copy, remove it. Okay, so what we are doing, see, we are passing the browser type to here with the help of the parameters annotations from our XML file. Okay, and for each type, like, so based on whatever the type of the browser, like we are trying to execute that specific driver. So if it is Chrome, we want to do a Chrome browser. If it is a Firefox, we want to do a Firefox browser. If it is IE, we want to open a IE browser. Okay, so now if you execute this code, see, we have also parallel over here. Okay, so if we execute this code, see, it's going to execute everything at the same time. So it will open 3 browsers and try to launch the 3 browsers and try to navigate and perform its task at the same time. Okay, it might be 1 or 2 seconds like here and there, like based on the performance of your browsers, but it will execute everything, or it will kick off all the 3 scripts at the same time. See, right click, run as TestNG suite. So it started Chrome driver, it started Internet Explorer. So Firefox is a little bit slow, so it will, but it will even initiate that one too. can see even Firefox came in at the bottom. See, okay, looks like IE is completed, so it closed it. Okay, see, Chrome got closed. Okay, IE will not be closed. Sorry, Firefox will not be closed. It's because it's a known issue. See, now total test run is 3. Okay, because 3 tests have been executed, because one is for Internet Explorer, one is Firefox, and one is Chrome. And there are one failure, like one of the step got failed because of that IE it is failing, so that's why it's failed. But other than that, the 2 other got passed. If you go to the TestNG results, also see here. So see, this is IE test which got failed. Okay, we know it, like it wasn't working even previously also. And see, Chrome test, it got passed. Firefox test, it got passed. Okay, see, all the 3 or one script got executed parallelly in all the 3 browsers. This is what is the parallel testing, which can be done only with the TestNG. So this cannot be done in the Chrome, or sorry, the JUnit. In case if we are using the JUnit framework, we cannot handle this in there. So we have to have TestNG to perform this parallel testing. Okay, and this is how you create it. All we need to do is just update this parallel and create multiple tests in here. And based on the property that you're passing, we need to make sure like whichever one it is executing it. Okay, and next, see, for example, see here I am giving it as uppercase Chrome. Okay, even the Firefox I'm giving it as Firefox, and let's say IE also IE. Okay, I'm just trying to like make that value up all the uppercases, whatever the variable that I'm passing. But here what I'm doing, I'm verifying, looking for the lowercase. So this might happen. We might think like uppercase or lowercase it is same, and the user might give that value in a different way. But here we are checking for the lowercase, so it will fail here because lowercase Chrome is not same as uppercase Chrome. Okay, let's run this and see. It should not execute any of them. Means it will not open the browser. Okay, see, the test run 3 and skips are 3, so it couldn't execute any of the test cases because it didn't match. The launch application Chrome, it couldn't find anything. Firefox, it failed. IE, it failed, and all the other 2 it didn't execute it. Okay, so in these situations what we need to do is, see, the value can be anything, like the users can provide the value in uppercase, lowercase, or whatever it is. So what we need to do is, when we are converting it here, when we are checking for the type, like here we can convert that using the string methods either to uppercase or lowercase or whatever the case, and then we need to verify that. So whatever that user is providing, we will convert that and verify with that value. So as everything is lowercase here, what I can do is I can say browser type dot like convert lowercase, okay, or like to lowercase, like this. So now what it will do, what are the value, like even if you're giving uppercase, lowercase, or whatever it is, it will convert that string into lowercase and it will compare it here. So now it will pass. Any way if you give, it will work. Okay, see, now if I do this, even though I'm giving uppercase there, I'm converting it to lowercase here. See now it started executing the code. First Internet Explorer, see Chrome, okay, and then Firefox. Yeah. So the tool, like the Java, will kick off all the 3 at the same time, but it will take some time for your browser. Depending on the browser, like it will take some time to open it. Okay, see, IE, see, like this. So some got failed, some got passed, so probably because of the sync and also the IE issue. Okay, but this is how like we can execute our test like parallelly. Okay, So let me save this. And any questions so far, or is it clear? Okay, so same thing, whatever that we did in the TestNG. All we did is just added a parallel test to it. Okay. Okay, so let's continue with the next topic. Okay, Maven. Okay, so like basically this is not related to the automation or anything. Okay, like not only just to the automation, this Maven is a tool which can be used by the developers also. It's kind of a like generic tool which is used by everyone, developers, testers, and everyone in the project. Okay, so basically what this Maven tool is, like it's like a build automation tool. Okay, in the sense, see, the developers will write their code. Like every developer, let's say in one of the project, let's say there are 3 developers. So what they will do, like one developer will work on one part of the code, like let's say login functionality. Second developer might work on like home page functionality. Third developer might be working on the logout functionality. So let's say once their code has been developed, what they will do is they will merge all their code, okay, and they will release it to us. That is what is called as build. Okay, so they take all the code, they will build it, and they will deploy it in the server. Okay, so to do that process, to build that, the building process is done by Maven. In case if we don't, without using the Maven also they can do it, but they have to write lot of logic, lot of code for that. So for that reason, like they have a tool called as Maven. Not only Maven, there are many other tools, but like one of the tool is Maven, which is like mostly used by many companies. So this Maven tool will help us to build the or automate the build process. Okay, so using this we can build it and we can easily deploy our project to the server, or you can create our application to some file like jar file, var file, or anything like that. Okay, see, for example, if you see here, like we associated many jar files to our project. Okay, so if you go to the Java build path, see, we associated like Selenium Java 3.0.1.jar, Selenium server standalone jar. Okay, so basically what are these is, these are all the projects. Okay, so this is a Selenium Java project, this is a Selenium server standalone project. Okay, so some persons, like some people have worked on it and they created their own classes and all the code. Okay, and they prepared a jar file so that everybody can use it. So even this jar file, like whatever the code that we create, you cannot deploy directly onto the server. Instead, what we need to do is we need to build a jar file and take that jar file and deploy it in the server. Okay, so whatever the code, even the code that we write, we can build that and we can create a jar file which can be used by other teams also. So to do that, like to build this jar file or var, like whatever the file that we want, we can build it with the help of this Maven tool. Okay, so we'll see how to build it and how, what it does, like we'll see all of that. But basically this Maven is a automation, like it's a build automation tool that can be used to build the projects. Okay, and not only that, this Maven also helps to provide dependencies in the sense, see, for this project, specifically for let's say September 2016 TestNG project, like what we had to do, we needed some jar files. Okay, see the Selenium jar file, this Selenium standalone jar file, then this TestNG jar file, all these jar files. Okay, so without that jar files, like we'll not be able to use that, like the TestNG or whatever it is. And if you take the Cucumber, see September 2016 Cucumber. Okay, see, we are here also, we added many of the jar files. So these are called as dependencies. So dependencies is like for one project, like whatever the jar files that we want to associate, like those jar files are called as dependencies. So without that jar file, we'll not be able to use that specific functionality. Okay, so to use Cucumber, we need to have all these jar files. To use Gherkin, to write the code in Gherkin, we need this jar file. To use JUnit, we need this. Okay, so to use Selenium, we need this Selenium Java 3.0.1. Okay, so like that, so these are all the dependencies for our project. So with like Maven, what we can do is we can define all the dependencies. We can tell to Maven that, okay, these are all the jar files that I want for my project. So with this, what will happen is you don't need to download and you don't need to add your jar files to the project. Okay, and all we do is we in the Maven will specify, okay, I need Cucumber core jar, Cucumber Java jar, Cucumber JUnit jar, like JVM, all these jar files. Okay, so we don't need to go download, put it into a folder and associate it to our project. Instead, we'll go to that file and update all our dependencies. So by that, what will happen is it's going to, like, the Maven will take care of it. So the Maven will go download the jar files and associate it to our proper or to the projects. That's what the benefit of Maven. Okay, so we'll provide all the dependencies and it will take care of it. So we don't need to make sure to download and associate the dependencies to our project. Okay, and to install this Maven, like first thing is we need the JDK. Okay, so far, like we might have or may not be using the Java. Okay, so like for the Eclipse we might just need a JRE, okay, which comes by default. Okay, but for this Maven, like we need to install the JDK. Okay, and how to install that JDK? See, like first of all we need to download the JDK from this location, or we can just Google it. See, if I go here and I'll say download JDK. Okay, and let's go to this website like oracle.com. See, Java SC downloads. Click on this download version or the Java download. See, we'll get this Java SC development kit 8 downloads. So from here we need to download it. So you have 8U111 version, 8U112 version. So let's go for the latest one. Just click on this accept license agreement and see, download this 64-bit one. So based on your system, so mostly all your systems are like 64-bit itself, like Windows 8, Windows 10. So just download this latest version, Windows 8 64 inches. So it's going to, once you click on this link, it's going to download that file, and once you download it, just double click on that, which will install the JDK for us. Okay, so it will ask you for the path where you need to where you want it to be installed. So you can just provide some path to it, or by default whatever the path is there you can give it. So generally that path will be here. See program files, then Java, and see, you will see this folder JDK, whatever the version, like 1.8.0._112. So if you have this, that means you have JDK installed on your system. If you don't see this folder in here, then we need to install the JDK. So that's the first thing. Okay, that's the first thing to make sure that JDK is installed. And one more, like by looking at the folder also we can see, or we can go to the command prompt, okay, and just type javac. Okay, if you type javac, okay, cd dot okay, so basically here also, like it needs to, if you see this javac, that means Java is not installed. It should not throw on this system because Java is already installed, so somehow it's giving it. But let me see, cd program files, okay, cd java, okay, and javac. Okay, so somehow it something might have happened here, but the Java is there in this machine. Okay, so somehow it's giving this error, so maybe I might have changed some paths or something. Okay, so this is how you can verify whether the Java is installed or not. Okay, so once this JDK has been installed, like we need to set some class path. Okay, so how to set that class path is, see, so first thing is we can go in the search and search for control panel. Like we need to go to the control panel and then go to this advanced settings, advanced system settings, and see here under the advanced tab you will have environment variables. So click on this, see. So, and here, like, see, in case we need to check, do we have Java_home? If not, we need to click on this new button and then we need to add the path over here. So what are the path that we have? The folder path, see, C drive, program files, Java, JDK 8, whatever the version. So we need to provide that path here. See, C program files, Java, JDK, whatever the version it is. Okay, so we need to first create the variable like this, Java_home, and we need to give the path. Then once you click on this, like, we need to click on OK, and then we need to update that in the path variable. So in the same way how we have it here, Java_home, just press P. See, we have a path variable here. Click on edit and update this path here. See, %Java_home %/bin. Okay, so which specifies that, like, this is the Java home path. Okay, so in the path variable we need to update this. So all we need to do is just same thing, %Java_home %/bin. Okay, so once these two are done, like, we need to, like, it means that the JDK has been installed and you have set your path for the JDK. Okay, and then we need to download the Maven. So how we just downloaded the JDK, in the same way we need to download the Maven also. So I have the URL over here. Either you can get from this URL or we can Google it also. Okay, so I'll say Maven download. Okay, see, we can download it from the maven.apache.org. Okay, so if you come here, see, this is the file, binary zip, and see, Apache Maven 3.3. whatever the version .zip. So just click on this, which will download it. Like, it will give you a zip file. So all we need to do is just unzip that, like, right click and then unzip it to some folder. Okay, and then generally it would be better if we create a Apache folder here. So, and unzip it here. Okay, so we need to create in the program files one folder called like Apache, and in here we need to copy that unzip, whatever that we unzipped it, or whatever that we downloaded and unzipped, we need to copy it in this folder. Okay, and once you copy that folder, like download, unzip it and copy into here, like, then again even we need to do some class paths. So we need to create some paths to us in the environment variables. Okay, see, one is m2_home. So we need to provide this path, and also m2 and m2 opts, and we need to provide this, whatever the path that we just created or wherever we copied that path or that files, we need to provide that path here. See, if you go to the system, say variables, and if I see type m, see, m2_home, C program files, Apache /Maven 3.3.9. Okay, and we don't need to do this, or even if you do it, like, it will still work. M2 equal to this, and then Maven_opts is this. So this is a standard, like, for sure we have to do it. See, Maven_opts and this value. Okay, I'll send that, whatever that information is there, like, I'll send it to you guys. Try to install it and update these variables. So after updating all these variables, okay, and what we can do is, see, we can go to the C drive and check whether that Maven is working correctly or not. So how to do that is, see, just go to the command prompt, okay, and type mvn space -- version. Okay, so even Maven is not there. I don't know, both of them are here, but somehow something happened to my system, so it shows that, like, Maven is not installed, and it says, see, Maven is not recognized as a internal or external command. So if this is coming, that means Maven is not installed in your system. Okay, so something happened to my machine, but, like, in case if your Maven is there, like, it will display some values here. So let me go into a different folder, mvn Okay, so somehow something happened, but see, C drive mvn-version, so which will give you the version of the Maven. Okay, so generally it's like a text message that is displayed. Okay, it says like what is the version, what is the Java home, all the data will be provided. If you see this, that means Java is or Maven is not installed, or the JDK is also not installed, or Maven is not installed here. Okay, so make sure like we get this one. Okay, I'll see what the issue is with my machine. I'll try to fix that one. Okay, so that's how we need to install the Maven. After installing the Maven, like we need to go to the Eclipse. So again, so we install the Maven, but to use it in Eclipse, we need to again do something, like we need to install the Eclipse add-in also. And how to do that is, see, first we need to go to the Eclipse and the install new software, and there we need to check whether it is there or not. Okay, see, let me open that. Go to help, install new software. Generally by default with the latest versions of the Eclipse, by default it is already installed. In case if it is not there, then we need to install, but mostly 99.9% the add-in will be installed by default. Okay, so we need to come to this new software. Then see, if you see here it says like what is already installed. So we need to click on this because we want to check whether it is already installed or not. So click on this. Okay, and see, like you have all the Cucumber Eclipse feature, Cucumber like Eclipse ID for Java developers, TestNG, M2E integration, like all these things. Okay, so now we need to go to this Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Then click on this, see EPP package, and you will see a lot of them here. And if you see M2, see M2E, Maven integration in Eclipse, launching Maven from Eclipse, dependency management and search. See, this is what we need to see. In case if we have this over here, that means Eclipse plugin is already installed. Okay, in case if you don't see it here, then we need to install, but like I said, like 99.9% it will be there, but all we need to do is we need to make sure that our M2 is add-in is already installed. Okay, so let's close this. Okay, so this is how like we need to install the M2 or the Maven, and then how to add update check for the add-in in the Eclipse. And once this is done, we need to start creating the project. Okay, so how to do that is, see, before what we did, like we created a Java project. Okay, so we went into the file, then new, okay, file, new, and we clicked on this Java project. Okay, because we were wanted to create a Java project that we want to write the code. Okay, but now we should not be doing this. Like we shouldn't be creating a Java project. Like now what we need to do is we need to create a Maven project. Okay, so click on other, and if you come down, see, you can see the Maven here. Just open that, and if you see here, see Maven project. Okay, so now instead of creating the Java project, we need to create a Maven project, and inside this Maven project we need to provide, or we need to write our code. Okay, see, click on this Maven project and click on next button, and it will ask you which workspace that you want to create. Let's select use default workspace location, which is our folder. Okay, and then click on next button. Okay, and here we have something called as archetype. Okay, so basically what this archetype is, it's like a project, like it's a sample project, or like call it not a sample project, but it's a skeleton of the project. Okay, so what we can do is, like instead of creating everything from scratch, like we have some skeletons that we can use. So in case, see, if it is a J2W application, so we can use this. If it is if you want to create a plugin, like you can use this. Okay, so for generally what we do is, from the testing point of view, we have to select the archetype as, see, Maven archetype quick start. Okay, which is like a basic skeleton of the project. Okay, we can select this, and even I created that here. See, select the archetype. Archetype is like a template, so it's a template, or you can call it as a skeleton, which has the basic things that needs to be present in the Maven project. Okay, so we can select this Maven hyphen archetype hyphen quick start, and then click on the next button. Okay, so now we need to provide some details to here, and if you see here, see, there is the first thing is the group ID. Like group ID is nothing but the project ID, or not even project ID. I can say, let's say if the company is having, like, whatever the name of the company, we can have it as a group ID, and it should be unique. Okay, unique in the sense, like the group ID, let's say one is the parent group ID, and inside that parent, let's say you have multiple projects. Okay, so that parent is the one which is the group ID. For example, let's say Expedia is there. So if you go to the Expedia application, so if you go to Expedia, like Expedia is the main project, and inside that Expedia, see, you have flights, you have hotel booking, like flight booking, bundle deals booking, car booking, cruise booking, like this. Okay, so what we can do is we can create one project called Expedia, okay, com.expedia.something, okay, and inside that we can have multiple projects like flights project, hotel project, like bundle deals project, like that. Okay, so this group ID is what is the main, okay, or the company name, or the main parent one. Okay, and if you see here, see com.expedia, let's say I'm giving this to the group ID. Okay, or I'll say com.expedia booking. Okay, and then inside that, see, the artifact ID. So artifact ID is nothing but the name of your project. So for example, let's say inside this, like you have flight booking one project, hotel booking one team, like you can even call it as a different teams, like one team is working on the flights booking, one team is working on the hotels booking, one is for working on the bundle deals booking. Okay, so for this we can name it as artifact. Okay, so the artifact name would be the unique ID, or it's like the name of the project. Okay, so I'll name it as something like, let's say, flight booking, like this. And if you see here in the package, it says com.expediabooking.flightbooking. So name of the project and the name of the test, or like artifact ID of that specific uh, project that we are creating it. Okay, and then click on this finish button. Okay, so we are giving it as, see, com.expedia booking and flight booking. So instead of flight booking, let's say I'll give it as hotel booking. Okay, hotel booking. Okay, so click on finish. So what it will do is it will create a Maven project for us. And if you see here, see, hotel booking, a new folder has been created. And if you see the icon over here, see, you have a M on this. That means this is a Maven project. And for all the other things, see, you have J. See, J, J, J. That means these are all the Java projects. Whereas this is a Maven project. And if you open that folder, see, you can see some folders already that got created. One is, see, source main Java, okay, then source test Java, like source/test.java, then you have JARE folder, then Maven dependencies, okay, then source folder, then target, and you have something called as pom.xml. Okay, so by default, when we create a skeleton, like when we create a Maven project, it's going to create all of these things. Okay, so like this. So when we create our code, like whatever the code, let's say if you want to create the whatever the test that we want to create, like TestNG or JUnit test, or whatever the test that we want to create, so we can use them here. So in the main, like we can write some steps in there, and in the test we can create our test cases. And see, if you see here, like by default they create some sample. Like when you create the project, Maven creates a sample test for us. Okay, we don't need to understand what it is or what it is creating it, but we can create our own tests also there, which we'll see how to create our own test inside this Maven project. Okay, so this is how like we can create it. And if you see here, see it is creating one XML file, and if you open this, so basically it opens the XML, and if you see here, like you have overview, dependencies, dependency hierarchy, effective POM, and we have pom.xml. Just select this pom.xml and see, you see some XML code in here, or an XML file which has some code in there. Okay, so basically, like I said, we need to provide all the dependencies. So this is where we will provide the dependencies. That means in this XML file we will provide, okay, what are the uh, jar files that you need for this specific project. So I'll not download anything from the internet and store it some location and associate it to our project. Instead, what I'll do is I'll specify everything over here. So now for sample, see it has some dependency over here. See dependencies, dependency, group ID is JUnit, artifact ID is JUnit, version is 3.8.1, scope is test/dependency. That means what it has specified is like it needs to get the JUnit jar file, and the version of it is 3.8.1. Okay, so like that, in case if you want the TestNG jar file, so all we need to do is we need to add one more dependency here. If you need the Selenium jar file, we need to add that Selenium jar over here, or the dependency to get that Selenium jar. So all the jars, like what are the files that you need, we'll add everything in this pom.xml file. Okay, and when you execute it or when you try to run it, so this Maven project or the Maven will go and get all these jar files. So we don't need to download it or we don't need to do anything. The Maven will take care. It will go get all the jar files and it will associate it to the project, or it will use it to the Maven project. Okay, so which we'll see it in the next class, like how to add the dependencies or how to create the script or code or a test case in the Maven and how to execute that, like we'll all see in the next class. Okay, so for now, like let's stop it today, and like we will